There's just something so satisfying about watching a guy fall in love first, and then spend half the story trying to hide it. Turkish dramas are full of these unforgettable male leads who pretend they don't care, act cold, or keep pushing the other person away, while secretly being completely in love. And honestly, that's what makes their stories so addictive. It's the little jealous moments, the silent stares, the quiet acts of protection, and all the things they do without ever admitting how they really feel. Instead of grand confessions, their emotions slowly show through their actions, making every scene even more meaningful. You can actually see them fighting their own feelings until they simply can't hide them anymore. And when the truth finally comes out, it makes the romance feel even more rewarding. So in today's video, we're counting down the top Turkish series with male leads who are secretly in love, and trust me, some of these moments will absolutely melt your heart. On number 10 we have Bir Gece Masali. At first, it might seem like the male lead has everything under control, but the more you watch, the more you realize he's completely losing the battle with his own heart. He tries to stay distant, hides his emotions behind a calm expression, and rarely says what he actually feels. But his actions tell a completely different story. Every protective gesture, every silent glance, and every small sacrifice quietly reveals how deeply he's fallen in love. That's what makes this romance so satisfying to watch. Instead of dramatic confessions, you get subtle emotions that slowly build over time. You can actually see him fighting his feelings in every episode. And honestly, when someone loves this deeply without expecting anything in return, it makes the story even more emotional. By the time he finally starts accepting his feelings, you're already completely invested in his journey. On number 9 we have Kızılcık Şerbeti. This drama isn't just about romance, it's about family, traditions, and emotions that often stay unspoken. The male lead spends so much time trying to do the right thing that he barely allows himself to admit what's happening inside his own heart. But the audience can see it long before anyone else does. His concern, his jealousy, and the way he quietly shows up whenever she's in trouble say more than words ever could. That's what makes his character feel so real. He's not expressive, but his love is impossible to ignore. Every episode slowly peels back another layer of his emotions. It's subtle, believable, and incredibly rewarding to watch. The slow burn makes every little moment feel important. On number 8 we have Ömer. What makes this story so beautiful is how quietly the romance develops. The male lead doesn't chase love or openly confess his feelings. Instead, he keeps them locked away while trying to focus on responsibility and family expectations. But the closer he gets to her, the harder it becomes to hide what's really in his heart. His expressions, his hesitation, and the way he constantly puts her happiness before his own reveal everything. There's something incredibly touching about watching someone love so deeply without saying much at all. The emotions feel mature and genuine rather than dramatic. Every interaction carries emotional weight. You slowly fall in love with the story because of its honesty. And that's exactly what makes it so memorable. On number 7 we have Ale. This series gives us a male lead who appears strong, confident, and emotionally guarded, but underneath all that is someone who's completely overwhelmed by feelings he doesn't know how to express. Instead of talking about love, he protects it in silence. You notice it in the way he watches her, worries about her, and quietly stands by her side when she needs him most. The chemistry between the leads grows naturally and never feels forced. His internal struggle makes the romance even more interesting because you know he's trying so hard not to admit the truth. Every episode reveals another glimpse of what's hidden inside his heart. It's emotional without becoming overly dramatic. And honestly, watching him slowly give in to love is one of the best parts of the entire story. On number 6 we have Kızıl Goncalar. This drama beautifully captures the feeling of loving someone while convincing yourself that you shouldn't. The male lead spends so much time suppressing his emotions that even he struggles to understand them. But the audience can see it in every decision he makes and every sacrifice he's willing to make for her. His love isn't loud, it's patient, quiet, and incredibly sincere. That's what gives the story so much emotional depth. Every scene feels meaningful because so much is left unsaid. The romance grows naturally through trust and understanding rather than dramatic declarations. You find yourself rooting for him long before he finally admits the truth. On number 5 we have Sandık Kokusu. This is one of those dramas where you can tell the male lead is in love long before he ever admits it to himself. He keeps trying to act normal, but every little thing gives him away. The way he looks at her when she's not paying attention, the way he quietly worries about her, and the way her happiness suddenly becomes more important than his own, it all feels incredibly genuine. He doesn't make grand speeches or dramatic confessions. Instead, he expresses his feelings through actions, and somehow that makes everything even more touching. The chemistry grows so naturally that you can't help but root for them. Every episode adds another small moment that makes his hidden feelings impossible to ignore. By the time he finally accepts what's in his heart, you're already emotionally invested in every part of their story. On number 4 we have Yan Oda. At first, the male lead comes across as distant and emotionally unavailable. unavailable, but that's exactly what makes his journey so satisfying. Behind that calm and controlled personality is someone who's secretly falling harder with every passing day. He keeps finding reasons to stay close, to protect her, and to make sure she's okay, even while pretending none of it means anything. The contrast between what he says and what he actually does creates so many beautiful moments throughout the series. His emotions aren't loud, but they're impossible to miss. Every quiet glance and every silent sacrifice adds another layer to the romance. It feels mature, believable, and incredibly heartfelt. Watching him slowly lose the fight against his own feelings is one of the best parts of the drama. On number 3 we have Güzel Aşklar Diary. This drama gives us a male lead who spends so much time hiding his emotions that everyone around him struggles to understand what he's really feeling. But the audience gets to witness every subtle change in his expressions and every small act of care that slowly reveals the truth. His love isn't based on big promises or dramatic words, it's built through loyalty, patience, and quiet support. That's what makes the relationship feel so authentic. The emotional tension keeps growing with every episode, making even the smallest interactions meaningful. You can tell he's completely in love long before he's willing to admit it, and honestly, that's what makes every scene between them so enjoyable to watch. It's soft, emotional, and incredibly rewarding. On number 2 we have Hudutsu Sevda. This series delivers exactly the kind of secretly in love male lead that keeps you glued to the screen. He tries to stay focused, keeps his emotions under control, and refuses to say what's really in his heart, but his actions tell a completely different story. Every time she's in danger, he's there. Every time she needs someone, he's quietly watching over her. His protectiveness says more than any confession ever could. The emotional conflict inside him feels real, making his character even more compelling. As the story progresses, it becomes impossible for him to hide his feelings any longer. The slow build makes the romance even more satisfying, and when those emotions finally come to the surface, every moment feels earned. On number 1 we have NC Tanelari. Honestly, this drama deserves the top spot because the male lead carries so much emotion without ever needing to say much at all. His love is hidden behind silence, responsibility, and the weight of everything he's been through, but you can feel it in every scene. The way he looks at her, the way he quietly protects her, and the way he puts her happiness before his own speaks louder than words ever could. Nothing about the romance feels forced or exaggerated. Instead, it unfolds naturally through small moments that slowly become unforgettable. His emotional restraint actually makes the story even more powerful because every tiny gesture carries so much meaning. You spend the entire series waiting for him to finally let his guard down. And when he does, it's one of those moments that stays with you long after the drama ends. Sometimes the most beautiful love stories aren't the ones where someone says, "I love you," first. They're the ones where you can see it in every action long before the words are ever spoken. And that's exactly what makes these Turkish series so special. So, which secretly in love male lead completely stole your heart? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this list, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more Turkish and Korean drama recommendations. Trust me, the next one is going to be just as addictive.